Welcome to The Good Pod, where today we're talking The Good Wife, Season 2, Episode 23, Closing Arguments, Season 2 Finale. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good? Are you good? Like, is everything good?
I'm good here, and I'm good at work, and I'm good at home, and I'm good everywhere, and I'm good. Is Carrie coming up behind me?
But I know you're good, but are you good?
Oh, I'm good.
I think we know what I
good.
mean. I think we both know what I mean by good, but neither one of us are going to say what we actually mean by
no, because that wouldn't be good.
Are you good or are you good? You good though? You really good?
I'm good.
Are you good?
Are you good?
Are you good? Or are you good? Listen, at the moment, Will was good. By the end of the episode, Will is good.
It was good.
It was real good.
Yeah, after a while. He had it took him a bit, but he got there.
It took some fumbling. Season 2, finale. We finally made it.
We made it.
So much has happened. It honestly, at this point, the end of this episode, it almost seems like the Bond Blake stuff just never happened. It's gone. And like you wouldn't even know this was part of the same season, that this felt like a whole different animal. But yeah, like we were wondering what happens at the end of the season. What kind of movement are we gonna get? And boy, was there some movement.
Moving and grooving.
Yeah. Is there gonna be a statement of feeling? Is there gonna be a kiss? There was much more than that. Before we deep dive into the episode, I want to remind you some free and easy ways you can support this podcast. No matter where you're listening, no matter where you're watching, there's a way to rate, subscribe, review. If you're listening on an Apple or a Spotify, you can rate us 5 stars. If you're on Apple, you can write us a written review. We really love those. If you're just watching on YouTube, you can always give us a thumbs up down here somewhere. You can also leave comments on the YouTube video. We love those as well. If you just want to talk to us about our show, the show Good Wife, whatever, you can always email us at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com to chop it up with us. Let us know what you're feeling, how you're feeling about our show, the show, whatever. As always, thank you so much for rating, reviewing, and subscribing wherever you can.
Yes.
Let's do this thing.
Okay, let's jump in. We're just going to run down from start to finish on this one. There was so much intertwining. There was a lot happening, and I'm not going to bury the lead. Things happen at the end between Alicia and Will, and we will talk about it. It's just going to be in chronological order. So just setting expectations early. This episode is called Closing Arguments, and it opens with Will giving closing arguments in the judge killer case. Remember last episode, Diane was like, there's this judge killer case that the Childs is going to use as his swan song, like setting this whole thing up, and we don't even see any of the trial. We just see the closing arguments from Will.
Yeah, they really hyped this thing up last episode. It just really was like the case was fine. It was just like, okay. I don't know why they needed to cliffhang us with this case. It didn't really mean much.
They gave us like a 2-second explanation of, hey, here's Jake Richter, and he's being framed for murder of this judge. I think that this is a murder that needs to be solved. Will is doing his best, like, theatrical plea to the jury, and he's got the family in there. They're waving, they're smiling, they're winking, they're saying like, hey, this guy's got a kid and a wife, but Childs wants to use this man as his swan song to get this over with. And just like, this would have been a clean case, but we could never find a glove with some blood on it. So if it doesn't have blood on it, you must acquit it.
I got back here on my little message board. It's a glove. If the blood does not fit, I think those kids of the 90s will know the rest of the saying. And Will was doing his best Johnny Cochran, trying to really animate the story with his closing arguments here.
Yes. So he gives it his best. We don't necessarily see, like, for all of this buildup of this being Childs' swan song, we don't see his closing argument. It's like, I guess it's a swan song, whatever, we'll just take it. Alicia leaves in the middle of this because she gets a phone call, and she goes back to the office, updates Diane about the case. And she's basically, it's not looking great. I think we've got one juror, number 2. Diane, that's great. We're expanding. We should talk about some sort of job.
Alicia's, let's talk. Let's go. Time for me to move on up to the big leagues. Moving on up.
I know that, like, They don't use instant messaging in 2011 as much as we
Mhm.
do in 2025. But this is also like the equivalent of like your boss just sending you like a message saying, "Hey, can we talk?" Is there something like at the beginning? Because Diane reassures her and says, "Don't worry, it's good," and stuff like that. But at first, it's just, "Can we talk? Is there
Diane, this could have been
anything
a
you want to
Slack. This,
follow
this
up
could have been
there?"
this could have been a
Yeah,
Slack, Diane. She's like, a
totally,
what? A
totally.
who? What? What is a Slack? No, you just could have. This could have been a text message on your BlackBerry to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't understand why Alicia had to leave the courtroom, because the next thing she does, she tells Diane, again, could have been a text message, could have been an email, could have been anything, and then calls Owen on the phone. Like, she does not need to be in the law firm, but Owen is babysitting and parenting at this moment. So Alicia's calling in, checking in on Owen. I thought it was interesting. It's always interesting to me to revisit conversations about reality TV in the old times, because one of
Mhm.
the things that Owen says is, "Have you seen reality TV during the day?" And I was like,
There
"What?
wasn't.
Okay, but also, have you not watched a talk show?" Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's not as if they're doing Real Housewives in the middle of the day.
Right.
At this point, what trash TV are you watching? Maybe like a Judge Judy or a People's Court. That was what reality TV was, especially in those times. Did you watch The View this today? Did you watch Regis and Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's scandalous. So yeah, I didn't know what
Regis.
exactly he was saying. It's not like he's binging Real Housewives on Peacock in 2011.
Yeah.
It's network TV reality television. So maybe he's watching like Jerry Springer. Maybe that's what he
Or
means.
or MTV. Like, I know there was The Real World and Road Rules and the Birth of the Challenge and all that, but it's just really interesting. And then I do remember like what fear people had about reality TV. It shouldn't happen. We shouldn't be having these conversations. And it's like the conversations around AI. Like, you can't stop it. It's going to continue. You're just going to have to live with it.
Yeah,
And
I think
now, it like we wouldn't be here without reality TV.
right,
To be
right.
quite
And I think when I think that what our minds think of when we say reality TV now is like those shows like a Real Housewives or like a Real World. But I think what they were talking about is like the Maury's, the Jerry Springers.
Yeah.
That was like the prevalent reality TV in those days. I mean,
Those were
it's only
wild.
yeah, it's only
Those were wild.
2011.
Yeah.
It's like a lifetime when you think about the evolution of reality TV since then. But yeah, that is. Didn't Alicia just tell Jackie either last episode or the episode before, my kids are grown. They don't need a babysitter. Like,
Yeah.
so why is Owen here? So why is Owen?
Because of the divorce, Jason. The
Oh, yeah.
divorce. The kids are like, Owen's just making sure that they're okay and their mental health is good and they're not freaking out because their parents are separating.
It's like,
You
Owen,
know.
watch Zach. Make sure he's not doing any like political stuff for his dad. He's really into that
Yes,
stuff now. Make sure you limit Grace's intake of the religious YouTube channel because she's getting real
Yes.
crazy about that. So make sure you're watching these kids so that they're not doing anything crazy. It's just like watching whatever on TV and not even really paying attention to the kids.
Also, I think Owen like loves the drama because he's like, "Hey sis, tell anyone? Did you tell anyone in particular that you're separating from your husband? Will? Did you tell Will?" She's whatever. While she's doing this, she has received, or she has intercepted, a document or a package that was supposed to go to Will. And she's, "Don't worry, I'll take it because it has to do with the case." So she takes it. And while she's opening it, this bloody glove falls out of this envelope and she freezes. And she knows that she cannot move. She knows she can't do anything. She's just, Owen, I gotta go.
The glove like flops out of the envelope with a heavy thud on the
Yeah.
table. Like it's just the weight of this glove, both figuratively and literally, is massive. Now you buried the lead here, Marissa, because
I did.
who
What did I
delivers the
Oh,
envelope
I
to
did
Alicia? Courtney's back, y'all.
Courtney.
Courtney has been gone forever. I thought we would
Courtney
see
is
the
back.
last of
Courtney has a lot going on this episode. Courtney is here.
Courtney is back in a big way. Just out of nowhere, out of the blue, she's back in my life. I mean, listen, those that have listened know I love Courtney, aka Sonequa Martin Green. Listen, not the only Walking Dead alum here in this episode, as we'll find, but I'm like, Courtney's here, and she has speaking lines in this episode. He's pivotal at some moments. I was like, wow. You would think Courtney is going to be like, they're going to get Courtney back involved. I have a feeling this is probably like Courtney's last appearance. I don't know why. It's so weird that she pops back up here just out of nowhere after she's been gone for half the season. I'm like, oh, I just assumed that Courtney was no longer in the Empire Gardener. Yeah.
Never
Oh my
assume. Again, I was watching this episode with my mom, as we do, and she was like,
Mhm.
"It's that girl from Chicago Med." So if you want to get
Oh,
more
okay.
Sonequa Martin Green, you can go to Chicago Med
Is
for
she
that.
currently on Chicago Med?
I think so. My
Really?
mom's pretty up in the Chicago verse. Like she watches the Med, the Fire, the Police, like all of it.
Yeah.
So
Because I don't know what the status is of her Star Trek show. Because that's what she was doing. Is the
she
Star
was
Trek
doing
show.
that. Yes, I think
I don't know what
like
the
she could do
status
both.
of that is. She could, but I was like, oh wow, I was amazed. I was like, Courtney's here. I was a little verklempt. I was like, oh, Courtney, I didn't realize you're gonna be here.
Yes. Courtney hands the envelope to Alicia. Alicia's talking to Owen. The bloody glove falls out. Alicia freezes. She's like, I can't move. And she sees that Kalinda is like going back and forth all of this time in front of her office. And she's okay, I need help. Kalinda, hey, look at this. Look at this.
And the way she first off sees, oh my god, it had to be Kalinda, the one walking back and forth. And she literally just goes, hey. Like, it's not like it's like a Kalinda, it's like a hey, get over here.
Hey.
Girl, woman I want to talk to, get over here. You're lucky I need somebody in this moment. You just had to be walking by. Hey. Oh my gosh. So she so hates Kalinda right now. She hates her.
Yeah,
hates the fact
so
that she
much.
needs Kalinda in this moment.
And then Kalinda's, okay, don't move. She's, I know. Don't move your finger. I haven't.
I'm not. Oh my god. Do you think I'm an idiot? Just because you were carrying on an affair with my husband, I had no idea. You're just like, I'm so dumb. I know, like, she so hates her. It's so hilarious. It's so funny. I love it.
And at this point, Kalinda's, I'm going to need some help. We want to get our own review of this evidence outside of the police. So she has to call the police because it's evidence. But before she calls the police, she makes a phone call to her friend Sophia, who she was going to work with before. And then she gets off the phone with Sophia, and Alicia's, who's that? And Kalinda's like, a friend. And Alicia's, ugh.
Like, rolls her eyes. Like, who was that? Peter? Were you calling Peter? No, Alicia, I hadn't talked to Peter in forever. It's not really true, but I don't really talk to Peter like that on a regular basis. Oh, you're talking to Peter again? Who was that? Will? Are you stealing Will from me too? Ugh. It was like so funny the contempt she has for this woman now after they were just such great friends like 2 weeks before.
It's so bad. The phone rings again, and she thinks it's Will, but it's Eli who's calling, and Kalinda like immediately hangs up on Eli. It's done. But on his side of the phone, the DNC is making a visit, and they're like, okay, let's get ready for the big leagues. Think statewide. I want you to work at a law firm. We've put together a couple of law firms that would house your office, house your campaign. We'll set you up pretty. We'll give you a salary. Also, like, as you're making these plans, we're gonna need the kids and the wife to be really involved with Peter. And Eli's about that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It's not gonna go good for that. It's not looking good.
And I did not appreciate Frank DNC dudes.
Yeah.
Frank's, it's not her choice. And I'm like, no, but it is her choice. And I think that's like the place where Eli has put all of the time, is to defend the fact that Alicia has a choice, or make her think she has a choice when she doesn't all of the time.
Yeah. I mean,
that's part of being the good wife.
Yeah, Frank's view is she's not Alicia. She is the candidate's wife. I'm not thinking of her as her own person. She is this piece we will use to our advantage, because if she is a good wife, she'll do what we say and want to support her husband. So she's gonna have to do all this stuff. So, yes, but she's also a fully functioning human that has thoughts and things on her own, and there's a lot of other things that Frank does not know about right now that's affecting this. I think if Frank even knew about what was going on, he's like, okay, I don't care. She's still the wife, so she still needs to do this stuff. I don't care what Peter did or who he cheated with. Does she want to be his wife? She's still his wife. Then she's gonna need to be doing all these campaign things because of politicians do.
And he says without her, he just overpaid for a prostitute.
Yeah.
But with her, he's a Kennedy. And I was like, oh, Kennedys, man. Kennedys back in the news. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happens. Hold on 1 second. I scrolled too fast. Okay. Back in the courtroom, the judge dismisses the jury for deliberation, lets us know the bailiff's name, the sheriff's name is Petey. Like, Petey will be there for you. So I'm like, okay, something's
Like,
going to happen here.
write down Petey. He's going to be important.
Yeah.
Okay.
For once, they give us a name.
Yeah.
Will is trying to just assure Jake, like, no matter what happens, we'll appeal. Like, it's okay. Sophia calls and says she thinks that this glove was delivered by someone in the state's attorney's office. There's all of this stuff happens so quickly. So I'm going to just say 3 more things and then we'll talk about all of them. Diane calls Will and says, hey, okay, we've got this like situation with this glove. And it could have been a whistleblower from the state's attorney's office. So go and get to the judge and tell them that we have this new evidence. And he goes, hold on, let me run to Jake first and see if there's a chance of his blood being on this glove. Goes up to Jake and listen, I can't tell you anything, but is there a chance your blood is on this glove? And he's no. Yeah. So then he goes to the judge's chambers and is, hey, we got this situation happening. And Sophia then takes the dried blood that fell off the glove to test.
Let me say that. I'll say this about Will is like low-key my like MVP of the episode. First of all,
I love Will.
So, we all know you love Will.
Yeah, we know.
The man, the physicalness of him running back into the courtroom, like, hey, I just gotta check before. Do I need to rush the blood on this glove, or should I just not worry about the glove and pretend we didn't get it? Is this going to point to your guilt here? Jake's like, I'm good. Like, I'm Gucci. I did not do this. Will's like, good. I'm just surprised Will to give him the speech of like, your first instinct will be to lie to me. I need you to go with your third instinct to tell the truth.
You could tell that he got that. You could tell that he gave that speech though in the way that Jake responded. Because he was asked twice and he said no twice.
Yeah, and Will gets a phone call before the Diane call. Will was on the phone with someone. We'll find out who later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't put that together to the end of the episode. Yeah. Exactly. And so, but I thought that was Diane in the moment. But then he gets the call from Diane, and Diane says, listen, we had a phone in here. I think it might have been Kalinda that said she's going to phone the police with Sophia.
Yeah.
We're going to phone the police soon for this glove stuff. I need you to get over here and test the blood for me. But yeah, so Diane calls Will, and Will's like, crap. Let me go see if Jake did this. Do we bury this or do we go with this? Is basically, that's what the decision is here. Like, ask Jake if he did this. If you did do this, we're not gonna worry about the glove. But if you did, there's a chance that we can use this to free you.
Exactly. And I think that this episode also demonstrates, again, the great teamwork between Diane and Will. There's not a lot said in these conversations between these two people, but they know specifically here and at another point in the episode exactly like what to do and how to play it. So Will rushes into the judge's chamber and we've got this new evidence. The bloody glove is there. I want a mistrial. And of course, Childs and Carrie are like, this can't happen. It's so convenient that this happened at this time. And judges, I am not gonna grant a mistrial right now, but if you can give me proof that this glove has anything to do with this case, I'll reconsider. And yeah, go ahead.
And this is the same judge we've seen before that I forgot which episode it is, but she is very like in the favor of defendants. She's not for the SA's office. She does not like child. She does not like, it feels like government. It feels, she's on the side of our people. She's always is. She's, listen, bro, like, get this done now. Because if you don't, like, you're going to have problems, because especially since this is about the murder of a judge, like no other judge besides me is going to even think about overturning this. So you better get this done now. So I loved how throughout this whole episode, the judge was just like, I'm going to say something without saying it because I am pro you.
It's so great how this was set up because her office is so cozy. She's got like tea. She's reading a document with a magnifying glass while she's like saying all of this. And Will's like, okay, what would you suggest? And I would suggest that you use your time wisely, because when the jury comes back, I can't do anything, but before then, I can be your friend.
Yeah, basically without saying it, like, you got until the jury comes back, and after that, who knows what's going to happen. So you better get this done quick, fast, in a hurry. You know who this judge is, though? This judge is like who Abernathy thinks he is. Like
Yes, yes, exactly.
Abernathy is such a tryhard. This lady does not even, she is just effortlessly judicial and
Cool.
like left leaning in a way to be like, I don't
Yeah.
even have to tell you or act out my thoughts and things. You can just tell I am just like, I'm cool.
You don't have to get a I gave blood sticker to
Yeah.
show favor with me. Like I am on the favor of the people and
Yes.
I will help the people as opposed to making it about themselves, which sometimes Abernathy will do.
Yeah, Abernathy ties himself in knots with trying to prove to people that he is a good guy, I guess you would say, a good guy, but in this at the same time also struggles with being impartial because of that. This lady doesn't care about what you think about her impartiality. She's just going to be who she is. And
Yep.
I love that for her. We don't get much of this judge in this so far, and she doesn't stand out like the other judges. She's just like, cool. Doesn't try
Yeah.
too hard.
She's definitely like judge goals. If I were going to be a judge,
Mhm.
I'd want to be like her.
Yeah, for sure.
So Will rushes out of chambers, calls Diane, and it's like, we have until the jury comes back. Diane pulls everyone into the conference room. And this is like the most exposition Diane has ever done. Usually this is coming from Kalinda, but Diane is saying, okay, everyone, including the audience, here's what's happening. We are testing the blood. And then there are 3 things that we need to watch. 1, we need someone to keep tabs on the jury. And Will's like, I can do it. I know Petey, basically. 2, we need to let the new state's attorney know that the current state's attorney may have fumbled the bag on this one. And everyone's eyes go towards Alicia. And Will looks at Alicia and is like, I'm going to be at the courthouse anyway, so I'll just do that too.
Oh my! Like the loveliness of this. Like the 3 people in the room that know what's going on. Will, Alicia, Kalinda are all looking at each other. They're like, how's that gonna go? Because everyone else is expecting Alicia to go to her husband to go to bat for them. This should be easy. The new SA is your husband. That's why you're here, basically.
Yeah.
And Alicia's like, actually, I don't know. And Will, without Alicia even knowing that this is the case, is like stepping in to be like, listen, I will be the knight in shining armor for my woman Alicia. But Alicia doesn't even know that Will knows that there's trouble. So Will's just doing this on his own.
Right.
I'm going to take the bullet. I'll talk to Peter. I don't want Alicia to be awkward with Peter. I'll take it. I'll do it. And you just tell Alicia's like, oh, thank God. I don't have to talk to Peter. And so it was just like, oh, that's so sweet of Will to like just step in front of it like that.
And he covers it well by saying, I'll already be there. Not like I'm doing this for you, Alicia, not because I have to go out of my way or anything. Even though talking to Peter is going out of his way emotionally and bro-y ways. But yes.
Eskimo bros, am I right?
The third thing they need to focus on is like, who is the whistleblower? Who dropped off this glove? And so they want to find the fingerprints on the envelope. And Alicia goes, yeah, but that's not like the envelope. It's not the envelope. I was touching the envelope that was inside of the envelope. So this was the manila folder that was basically inside one of those flat mailing packages that comes from the post office. So her and Courtney go to the mailroom and find the envelope that it came in. And Kalinda brings it to Sophia for testing. And then Sophia's like, hey, do you still go out for drinks after work? Wink, wink, drinks after work. So obviously there was something there before that Sophia is looking to rekindle. Will is leaving. We did.
We knew that though. We ever since Kalinda and Sophia got back together, you can see the look in Sophia's eyes, like, oh yeah, you want to come back? Let's do this thing. Whatever has taken over the spot of the FBI agent lady. Well, like the FBI agent lady left and Sophia came in. This is like a seamless transition. My mom.
I forgot about that. I forgot. And then I remember.
I told you she was on Law and Order last episode.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. She was New Dixie on All My Children. She is Rollins on SVU. And before Rollins, she was
Sophie. Okay, anyway, Will is on his way to the courthouse. And before he is leaving, because he's got to check on the jury, he's got to check in with Peter. But before he goes, Alicia's, hey, I just need to talk to you. And okay, this is important from a storytelling perspective. Will pulls Alicia into an elevator to have this conversation. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is before Grey's Anatomy and elevators. I just need
the first time, but not the last.
Put this in the elevator romance timeline. This is definitely before Grey's Anatomy. But anywho, Will pulls Alicia, and Alicia's, hey, I just want to let you know when you talk to Peter, it might be a little weird. Like there might be some tension. And was like, what's going on? And Alicia says things are not going well while smiling. She's not. And Will's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes.
I just love what's going on here because Will knows, but he doesn't want Alicia to know that he knows. He's like, oh, things will be weird? What do you mean weird? In what way? Are you saying everything's not okay with you and Peter? And Alicia's trying to tell him like,
yeah, he's like
basically it's gonna be weird because, and I think Will picks up on what she's putting down. He's like, oh, you mean because you and me?
And then do you want to talk about sports? No, I got some cases to review. Much. Peace out. Exactly. I'll see you later. Let me go upstairs.
She's embarrassed enough as it is right now. I can only take
Eli
so much.
Decides to join the firm and talks to Diane about setting up shop there. And he has a good point because he's like, hey, you had to let go of Patrick Edelstein. Remember the like Mark Zuckerberg of, not really, but of this universe. You had to let go of him because you couldn't provide like full consulting services for him. And if I'm here, it's good for you. I can use you guys for legal stuff for my campaign. Let me set up an office here. And Diane's like, that is like way too perfect, but sure, yeah, let's do it. While going through cases that Judge Edelstein, the murder judge, was involved in, Alicia has to talk to Kalinda. Every time this happens, it's just weird. And Kalinda's, we have to prioritize cases. And Alicia's, it's this one because it was Sal. He lost a bid. The judge ruled against him and he lost a lot of money. And she's okay, great. I will try to find some DNA on that. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was weird because every time they were talking, I was like, are they in a room by themselves together? But no, they were always with a bunch of other people. So it was like, if I have to be here, like I'm just going to talk to you with other people here because you're lucky I'm even talking to you because you did what you did. You can just tell Alicia's like having to talk to Kalinda because
meanwhile,
it's part of her job right
Sophie
now.
calls Kalinda and says, hey, we found 2 prints on the envelope. One is ex-con and one is ex-military. We don't know anything else right now, but that's what we got. Meanwhile, at the courthouse, Peter and Will meet in like the weirdest office with boxes and a closed door. It was weird. And Peter starts the conversation by saying, I'm not here. I'm not here. And Will states the case. He's like, hey, we got this glove. I just want to let you know, like, Childs might have messed up here. And as the new incoming state's attorney, I really want you to know about what's going on. And he says that the glove wound up on Alicia's desk. And you could see Peter's face. He was like, oh, Alicia's desk. Oh, okay. Okay.
I think part of this is Peter's like, you just said her name. I just hate that you said her name came out of your mouth, Will. It's like you Peter is so uncomfortable in this moment. And again, Peter just acting like
also this
Alicia's
was originally meant for Will
is so
and knowing
crappy.
Who we know later who set this up, he's Alicia's desk.
Yeah, okay. But it was sent to you somehow. It wound up on Alicia when you got the envelope. Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting how you were with Alicia probably, and that's how it got on her desk. Interesting. Weird, huh, Will? You and Alicia just be at work chilling together. That's how it wound up on her desk, because y'all were just fraternizing, having a great time in Alicia's office, doing Whatever.
Yeah, I think there's more to
Will,
it, but I'll talk to you
interesting.
about it at the
Yeah,
end of the
I
episode.
didn't even think about
And
it
Peter,
like that.
again, just like everyone else, this is really weird that this showed up when it showed up. And Will's like, yeah, but it showed up when it showed up. Is there anything you can do about it? He's great. Thanks for letting me know, but I'll deal about it after I'm in office. And then out of the shadows, behind some boxes, Kyriagos comes to pull Peter away and Mr. Floric.
Yeah.
And so this is really, we had that one scene where Peter was basically to Carrie, do you want to come over to the dark side? Carrie went to Peter first and said, I'm at your disposal, basically. And so it seems as though Carrie and Peter are working together. Yeah. Yeah. It was like,
Yeah,
so
Carrie
weird.
I was surprised when to go, oh God, Carrie, were you there the whole time? I didn't even see you.
Don't you do that? Don't you?
Yeah, I'm just here chilling next to my boss. What's the problem with that? I'm just here sucking up to my boss now. And it's like, yeah, Peter loves Carrie now because Carrie hates Alicia. So Carrie's
he
now
is the
his,
bag
his
man.
underling. Carrie might as well be called like Gary if you ever watch Veep. He is Peter's Gary. Nope. Yeah. So yeah, he just came out because someone tried to enter the office and Peter's like, nope. Like in the very beginning of the conversation, but
it was weird.
I guess
and then
Carrie
we got
came
the
out
very
of
awkward.
some other.
Things are
It
good,
was
right?
very weird.
Like you're good. Alicia's good. Everything's good. It would be, and then we got this line. It'd be funny to be like on opposite sides in court, but not half funny, not laugh out loud funny, but like funny, right? Huh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, is this some sort of threat, Peter? Like, you are obviously on different sides of the law. This is going to happen, whether there's a relationship between Will and Alicia or not. Like, it's gonna happen.
And Peter's like on opposite sides of Alicia's heart. Will's like, huh? What? What are you talking about? He might as well just said that because Will knows some stuff, but Will doesn't know everything. So the face acting of Josh Charles here, the level of bewilderment he has is he leaves off. He's like, what just happened there? What just was that? Because they had this weird little standoff. Like you said, he's like, things are good.
Yeah,
right?
why don't you tell me how good they are? Tell
like,
me.
What do you mean?
Stuff.
What do you know about me being good or not? Like, what do you like? You want to talk about how good things are? You want to talk about how good things are with you and Alicia or me and Alicia? You want to talk about the good stuff, or are you just trying to mess with me, bro? And Will's just, huh? I don't know what is happening here. Just the like confusion on Will's face, really like good.
After he leaves that meeting, he's in the hallway, and Petey,
was so good.
The sheriff
really good.
pulls him over and says, "Hey, the judge asked for dinner orders, basically, but the jury said that they don't need dinner. So this is bad news on timing front." And Will's like, crap. Okay, let me make a phone call, but also give them all of the coffee. Make sure they have to go to the bathroom a lot. Kalinda is doing her research by talking to Sal, who apparently is like an ambassador for Italian Americans, telling us every contribution that Italian Americans have ever made to the United States, which was a great education. But he was basically just mad that the judge had excused himself for personal reasons. Meanwhile, back at the office, this is another time where Courtney comes in, saving the day. She overhears Alicia on the phone trying to find out who Robert Clayton is. And Courtney's just hang up the phone. Just come into the mailroom. Like, hey, Rob, what's your last name? Oh, Clayton. Oh, okay. Are you an ex-con, basically? Yeah, cool. That's your fingerprint. Like, that was it. But that was a big moment.
Courtney coming in clutch, like Courtney be doing. We love us some Courtney. I love the moment right after this where Will came down. It's like, hey, did you know we had a sex offender in our mailroom? And Will's like, huh? It's like, I just had a weird meeting with Peter.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I'm
still at the same time in the mailroom.
So
Alicia notices the clock reminding her that she was supposed to meet Owen and the kids for dinner. So Owen is with the kids at dinner and basically asking Grace, like, why Christianity? Like, could you have been a Buddhist? Like, Buddhists love the gays. And Grace, of course, Christians don't like gays, but Zach just doesn't want to talk about religion, and Alicia calls to cancel. And it's funny because Owen has like the older brother response and then like shifts into uncle mode. Here comes the cancel, but she works hard. She works real hard. And yes, she is the Reba. She is the moment.
She works 2 jobs and never stops. He's got the heart of
Exactly.
a fighter.
Exactly. Who's also a
She's
survivor, but not one I will cheer
survivor.
for. But she never dies, man. She never
Love Reba.
gives up. She never stops. Freaking Jackie.
Your favorite character?
Oh,
Your favorite character on the
yeah.
show? Yeah, Jackie. Jackie, who just talk about emerging out of the show.
And she's like
Jackie,
holding
Jackie's
her
just
little
like,
bag, like
hello,
up, like,
children.
super
Like,
papery,
here
and
is
I
a
just wanted
grandmother.
to
Like,
make
what
sure
the hell?
that you were like maintaining the tradition, and then looks at Grace like, Grace, you're so pretty. Zach, you've grown so much. What has it been? Like two hours, not like 10 days. Like I haven't seen you in 10 years. Like I don't even know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
It was
Grandma, I saw you last week,
so
bro. Like,
dramatic.
I've not grown since then. And that's just how dramatic Jackie is. She's like, your mother has kept you away from me forever. I was like, ma'am, this is an Arby's. Okay. I just
She
saw you
comes
last
around
week.
the corner with her
And
little bag.
it's so bizarre that she is just like busting in. Yeah, she's like busting in on this scene of, can I join you?
And what is
like,
Owen supposed
this
to
is
say? No.
weird. This is crazy. Like, this is ridiculous.
I was
Listen, oh, but it's Owen we're talking about. I wouldn't be surprised. He was like, we're gonna go now. Bye. Owen is not one to hold back. He gives her a little bit of goodwill and just like, hey, yeah, come on, join us. I know it's probably hard for you as well, Jackie. This whole thing is going on. So he is nice to her in this moment.
They both got
And they
drunk.
did have this moment like middle of this season, I think it was, where they were like getting drunk together in the kitchen,
Also, if I
trying to connect. So I think he does have like a kind of a soft
you could
spot for
join,
Jackie.
and I will also order an extra serving of whatever, and my sister will be paying for this, and I will also get dessert. You know what I mean? Like I would just make it worth like my time. But yeah.
Yeah, but I would have loved an extra scene of how the dinner played out, and like maybe Owen and Jackie like
Are the kids
trading
just like walking up
barbs
and
back and
leaving?
forth a little bit. I would
Whatever,
have
Grandma.
appreciated an
Bye.
extra scene there at the dinner. Yeah, yes, exactly. Because I would assume there's going to be a moment where Jackie is like sticking up for Peter. Meanwhile, Owen is sticking up for Alicia, and it'll be funny because neither one of them really knows like what the real issue is. Maybe Owen knows. I don't know what Alicia's told Owen, but who knows what each of them knows. But they're still going to be caping up for their people, just trading it back and forth. Like you said,
And I would even ask if they have a
like,
kids menu
all right,
to
you
start
guys
doing
stay
like
here.
to connect
We'll
the dots.
go
or
play in the
something
arcade
if I
or something. I
was
don't know.
I feel like I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not in the time of you can just tune out and go on
Diane
social
calls
media on your
to
phone.
update her on where we are. This is where
just leave this.
tone at the Christmas meeting. Ex-con. I can't even. Whatever. Just ask me some questions about the case. And while he's doing that, he walks into the bathroom and he's talking out loud because he has seen a juror go into this bathroom, and he knows that if a juror overhears stuff about the case after or during deliberations, he has to be replaced. So he goes in there and he's like talking, oh, the glove. And then at the end, he turns and he sees the juror and he's, oh no, oh man.
Oh no!
Yes.
What have I
it was
done
great.
erroneously?
So back in chambers,
oh my gosh!
Well,
like
we
the
gotta
actor
replace
was
the juror
fantastic.
because overheard. Childs and Carrie, of course, are objecting, and the judge is like, "Cool, yeah, I will do that." But also, did you know that someone else was in the bathroom? Did you know that also, Will? And he's, no, I didn't know. Oh yeah, it was juror number 2, the only one you thought you had in your pocket. So we're gonna have to excuse him too. It was funny.
Hoisted on.
Meanwhile, Sophie calls Kalinda
Hoisted
and
on
says,
his
"Hey,
petard.
like
Oh
everyone
my
you're looking at
gosh.
is a male. That's so interesting because the DNA on the glove is from a female." I was like, "Oh, okay." So Will goes to Jake and is like, "Okay, don't get your hopes up." And I love Jake's response here of, then what do you want me to do with my hopes? Like, where are my hopes supposed to go? And Will explains, we just bought time. They're still going to deliberate with two alternates, but we're also against the clock with finding out more about this DNA. So don't get your hopes up. Yes.
Yeah, there's also the moment where Jake gets his moment where he's talk to
That
my
was
son.
so weird.
You want a spelling bee? my dad was in prison. I don't know if I went any spelling bees. So like Jake, who is played by Seth Gilliam, who has been on The Wire, he's been on Oz, very accomplished actor. I know him best as Father Gabriel from Walking Dead. Jake and Courtney will work closely together in the upcoming future on the show The Walking Dead. So that's interesting. But yeah, it's just like, hey Seth, this is your moment. Take it. Like, and the whole Jake storyline is, as we've talked about a little bit, as the season has progressed, the cases become
Yeah.
less and less important because the personal stuff is bleeding more into the cases, and the cases are going by the wayside as we focus more on the personal side. And so it felt like,
yeah,
okay,
I don't know
like, this is
anything about
cool,
this
but it
man.
doesn't
It's
really
not that I
matter at
don't
the end
care
of
if
the
he's
day.
like
This is
guilty
just
or
like
innocent,
the
but the
case.
show hasn't given me anything to root for one way or another. So all of this talk about the kid and all of that stuff, I think, was to get us to feel for him. But also, I'm inherently going to be on the side of Lockhart Gardner, no matter who they are up against. So I could just assume this person is good, even though they have criminals from time to time. I don't know if we
Yeah,
needed all of this for the outcome of the case. Like, I didn't feel like I was just like, oh, they did it. Great.
it feels like if
Yes.
this was like a season 1 episode, you would have spent so much time with Jake, but we spent so little time with Jake and his family. It felt
Yes.
out of place. I was like, okay, I get it. You want me to know that this is a great dad, blah blah blah, so that I feel for him, but you're not spending a lot of time with Jake in the first place. So it felt a little weird
None.
in the
I am a
moment.
horrible speller.
Marissa,
Horrible.
spelling bees. How many have you
Are
won?
you a champion?
I literally just asked you. I literally just asked you that question so that I could talk about myself. I, in like the 3rd grade, won a spelling bee, and I won a bike. Like, I won a bicycle. Like, it was at my
That's
local Boys and
awesome.
Girls Club, and I used to go there after school. And I won the spelling bee out of
Jason,
probably like 30 kids, people that were like above me in grades, and I
I'm so
won the
proud
freaking.
of you.
It is an accomplishment I put on my resume to this day. Okay, won the Boys and Girls Club spelling bee in like 1992. And at the Boys and Girls Club, won myself a bike, which I'm pretty sure is still in my mother's shed up in Richmond, Virginia. That we just never got rid of it. I probably rode it like 5 times in my life, and it's just collecting dust now and
Oh,
probably
yeah.
rusted in Virginia. But every time a spelling bee comes up, I have
Whoa.
to give myself the accolades. Listen, I was up against like 5th graders. Okay, I was like a 3rd grader. I was going
Fifthers.
against
I've never heard
fifthers.
them referred
Okay,
to
I
as
won that
fifthers.
joint, and I was dirty. Yeah, it was dirty fifthers. You
Wow.
know,
That's
I was just a lowly 3rd boy, and I went up against the fifthers, and I
round
won.
of
Okay, so I just
applause.
have to.
While you were talking, I was
I have to give
like,
myself
can I
props
spell
every time a
bicycle?
spelling
And
bee
so
is
I
right.
was
Okay,
like, yeah, I can.
one of my
Bicycle. I did it.
okay,
Bicycle.
good.
Uh, Hey,
Okay. All right. Cool. I would have done it faster, but that's cool. It's
I
cool. It's cool.
appreciate.
Still, one of my greatest accomplishments to this day
No,
is
it's
that super sad?
Jason.
Probably, but
Every time
I
there's a
have
French horn, I tell you
to.
about French
I
horns.
need to
So
bring it
every
up
time
every
there's
time
a
a spelling bee is brought
there's
into
a
the
spelling bee,
conversation.
tell me about spelling bees. It's okay.
That's true.
I will. Carrie calls Kalinda at this point. Kalinda
Expect
is
it.
indisposed in a situation, in a moment with Sophie. And there's this conversation like, you used to be more fun. And Kalinda's like into it. She's they're going back and forth. And then they get interrupted. And she's, yeah, I'll be there. I love you. And Kalinda's, who is that? And she's, yeah, it's my husband. And Kalinda's, oh, like, I did this again.
Kalinda's newfound conscience kicks in. Oh, I can't be doing this anymore. And first of all, this scene,
Yes.
I'm like, what's going on? Because this is obviously post. Sophia is conceivably naked. She is in the I guess it's a hotel, in the hotel bed with the covers over her naughty bits. We do see her full back. I'm like, oh, okay, full back.
Pretty much dressed.
She has the covers covering up the naughty bits. Meanwhile, Kalinda has her Yeah, hats
Maybe
on,
Kalinda
has like a
was
tank
getting
top on.
ready
Like, what
again. Like she
even
was
just
like
happened here?
almost done, and
For my
she
own,
went back for more.
maybe just
Hey,
for
Archie Punjabi, why don't
for my
you
own
let
research
Jason
purposes, I
know
just
what
feel
was
like I need to
going on
know
there?
what exactly happened. I need it spelled out. Yeah, let me know. Archie Punjabi, Kelly Giddish,
We
like,
do get this
just give me
scene
a call.
after this where
I'm just
it's
no
like it
other
was
reason.
very artsy for the good wife. We see Kalinda like at a bar and then the camera swivels and she's back in the office and she's almost got tears in her eyes. Like she's definitely like realizing who she is. And while she's doing that, Will walks up and, hey, tell me
Mhm.
what's going on. And Kalinda's, I think we should look into the judge's family problem because every time he recused or he took himself away for family problems. Great. Yeah, you go question her and with Alicia. And Alicia's actually like, I have this, I had tracked the fingerprints on the envelope to this SA's office. So I was going to go do that. And Diane's like, nope, I'm going to do that. You two go question the daughter. It was so like two little kids like trying to get out of chores and mom's nope, I'm gonna do this, still go sweep the floor.
Yeah, it's just like you two, you love doing the stuff together, right? Go ahead, go knock yourself on. Actually, won't ever each
Yeah.
other like that no more. Okay, but you're at work, so go do your freaking jobs. It's just the awkwardness of Alicia and Kalinda now. Every time they're in the same vicinity, is so palpable, so obvious.
Especially when they
It's
go to
just
visit
it's
this daughter
kind
and
of it's a
question her.
hoot
They
every
are so
time they
off
have
their
to
game. They're
interact
speaking
together
at the
now.
same time. They're over talking each other. And I guess they decide that Alicia will question while Kalinda searches.
Mhm.
So Alicia talks to the daughter, and the daughter says, my dad didn't want his judge friends knowing that he had a junkie lawyer. That's the only reason why he went to Phoenix is to like, or sent me to Phoenix is because it was so far away. But I don't know why he was mean to me because he was taking bribes. So who is he to talk from? And Alicia, we would love to rule you out of this glove situation. Is there any way you can like give us a swab, a piece of hair, or something we could test? And she's no, my body is a temple. Meanwhile, Kalinda's in the bathroom, upturning every single thing and also taking off the towel bar and looking inside the towel bar, to which she finds a needle and takes the needle for testing. I was just like, is that legal? I don't think so, but okay.
Yeah, it was so bizarre. I was like, "Oh my!" First of all, your body's a temple, aka also you don't want your to get yourself swabbed because you'll have drugs in your system. Is that why? Because at first I was like, "Oh snap!" The daughter killed her dad. Okay, cool. But then Kalinda
That
finds the
never,
drugs. Like, oh,
I would have
okay.
never thought of
But the
this.
towel bar trick. That's right.
For what? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna keep that in my head
All
for
right. Lock it
no
away.
for
Lock it
no
away.
reason. Don't worry about it. I'll just
Okay.
it's just up here.
Because Diane
No, you
took
don't need to
the
know why.
envelope, she goes
Yeah, I
straight to
was locking away.
Carrie.
Yeah.
And it's basically, come on, Carrie. We know you did this. I went to the post office with pictures of ASAs and they recognized you. And Carrie's, ooh, so unusual. Like, it's the post office. Just, yeah, and you'd have a receipt just like this. So we all could see what the receipt looked like.
I just yeah, I just the good wife, the king should have been like, stop, circle the receipt, and put like
This
right on the
one.
screen. Like, remember this for later. Remember the look of this receipt for later. It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up. Like they made it so brightly blue. It was like, okay, we gotta make this thing stand
Carrie's,
out. We'll understand
I don't
later.
understand.
Like
Hold on, I
remember
might
this
have to
receipt.
zoom
It's gonna
smaller.
be important.
Maybe not. Maybe it passed. Okay. Curious, this cannot be me. And Diane, this is the transition
Man.
dump. Like, this is something's got to happen. Somebody should have done it or will have done it. And he says, I would never jeopardize a job that I love and a case that I believe in. And Diane's like, for the truth, you wouldn't do this for the truth. I thought it was so funny. And then he goes, I sent my niece a U of M sweatshirt, like University of Michigan's shirt, and that's why the post office knew who I was. And I was like, Carrie, just give it up, bro.
just so happens, Diane, I was actually at the post office mailing a
Yes, the niece that wants
sweatshirt
to
to
get
my niece that
them.
probably wants. You remember the niece, like from earlier, wanted to weirdly wanted to have sex with Carrie. That's the niece we're talking about. He's like, just so happens I was there mailing a sweatshirt off, so sorry, you're barking up the wrong tree. And again, Carrie, let's not pretend that you just let 2 episodes ago weren't begging me and
He's
Will
like,
for your job back, and now
always a
you're just
pleasure.
like, oh,
Like,
sorry,
ugh,
blah blah blah.
we're
Like,
back to
come on,
this,
Carrie, don't
Carrie,
be a
for
dick.
now.
Like, you don't have
Ugh.
to do that. But
It's
yeah, it's not even that weird that we would think you did this, Carrie, because you've helped us before. Like, I don't know why you think this is so crazy, but he's really in his self-righteous mode because he's in a good spot right now
for
with
the
being
foreseeable
Peter's
future.
main underling. So he's going to be
Alicia
insufferable
finally goes to
for
meet with
the
Diane
time
so they
being.
can talk like they were supposed to talk at the beginning of the episode. And we get this little glimpse into Alicia's like dreaming. She's standing on the other side of Diane's desk, like Diane's side. She's like rubbing the chair. She's picturing herself in this place. I thought it was really interesting. We don't get a lot of those moments. We know that Alicia wants to do a good job, but we've never seen aspirations to get a corner office or anything like that. So it was cool to kind of see that little picture of her. Of course, she's going to update Diane on the case. She's, okay, we got the DNA from the daughter. Don't think it's going to go anywhere. We might want to track the bribes. And Diane's, yeah, cool. But what I want to talk to you about is that, like, you're friends with Eli, right? Like, you're friends with him. You work well with him. She's, yeah, great. We want you to liaise with his new department, and we're going to put you between the legal and the political. And Alicia's and Diane, take this opportunity. It won't come again. You got to do it. There's no way out. And this is, I think, Alicia's worst nightmare.
Oh yeah, at least oh great, exactly where I want to be. It like mixed up in the political side, exactly where you all know I don't want to be. And I was like, I know you don't want to be in your husband's stuff, blah blah blah. But if you want to move up, take it. It's almost similar to the conversation she had with Alicia back in the day of, hey, you want to beat Carrie in this little competition. You're gonna have to admit that you have some favorable things in your favor and use them. And Diane's like, because Diane walked in
like,
when Alicia's like wistfully looking like, boss babe, corner office boss babe, Lockhart, Gardner, and Floric, or Lockhart, Gardner, and Gardner. Ooh, I could be Will's wife. It would be Lockhart, Gardner, Lockhart, Gardner. I almost thought that Lockhart was Will for a moment, but no, I remembered Lockhart, Gardner. And Diane walked in. She's like, oh, that's cute. Like, you can see the look on Diane's face. Oh, she's picturing herself in this office. So Diane's, I got her right where I want her. All right, yeah. Is this happening because you are friends with Eli because you married to Peter?
Yeah, it's partner.
That's why it's happening. But just go with it.
At this point,
just take it. Come on.
Yes.
I think
that was part of Diane's reflection.
Likes Alicia and knows
she sees me as a mentor. Like, they have crossed that. Because at the beginning they were quote unquote enemies, but not really. Like, she was one of Will's people, not one of Diane's people. And I think now she's, oh, look at us. Look at, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk we'd be here? They get interrupted with Will coming in saying, hey, the jury's in. Yeah. We got to go back to the courthouse. So, okay. Diane actually comes to the courthouse with them and tells Alicia and Kalinda to look at cases where Judge Ellerby had recused himself because they had not looked at that yet. The kid behind, like Jake's kid, is playing it up for everyone. He's winking. He's smiling. He's doing all this stuff. And it turns out that the jury called everybody back, not for a verdict, but just for a question. And the jury would like to hear a portion of Judge Ellerby's decision on a civil case read to them. Childs is like, cool, go ahead, no problem. Diane whispers to Will before, we have a direction. We have some things we're going to do, but we need more time. And if there's something that Will Gardner could do in a courtroom, it is stall. So he's like, yes, this is okay, but I think context is really important. And we ask that the entire transcript for the entire case be read. And Child says, this is 186 pages. And then Will goes on this whole big thing about, this is the cornerstone of our judicial system. And it was important to the founding fathers that comprehensiveness be chosen over the opposite. And he was like, the judge is like, okay.
And again, Josh Charles killed this because he's like, he uses all these big words and he loses himself in the big words. And he's like, because comprehensive should be going. He says some other big word. This should be done over. I don't know what the opposite of the word I just said is because I don't even really know what the word I just said is. He's like the opposite of the word
Yes.
I just said. And the judge obviously knows what is happening. She's sure, yes, okay, cool, yeah, got you. Whole transcript's going to be read. Petey, hope you worked on your reading voice or
You
whatever.
can see that.
I do wish if this episode was an hour and a half instead of just an hour, that we could have gotten some moments where we're like going in and out of the courtroom and we just hear Petey keep on moments of the transcript. I would have loved that if like we had an extra 15 to 30 minutes of the episode. We could have added that scene in where every now and then we just walk into the courtroom, we just hear
It
Petey
is
going,
definitely
and
something.
this to
Did
this
you
and
watch
this
Jury
this
Duty?
and
That
this.
show,
Like I would have,
Jury
I
Duty,
think it
where
would
they
have
had
been really
that.
funny.
It seems like something that would have happened on that show for sure. But yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely. We'd have gotten a time lapse. We'd have gotten a time lapse of like
Yeah.
a one,
Apparently, that's
of the
information
3
Diane knows.
hours
'Cause
of the
Will's like,
person
hey, how long
reading
is
the whole
186
transcript.
pages? And it's like 3 hours. Like she knows off the top of her head. So Will tells Kalinda and Alicia, you have 3 hours. So they're looking through all these cases, and Kalinda's trying to be normal about it. And she mentions like one case, and Alicia's okay, cool. I gotta go. Let me go look this up. Like it was just one case. At the same time, Eli's coming down the hall. She goes to Google. She's figuring some things out, and she finds out that Angela Gothard had a genetic tested fertility clinic. At the same time, Eli's talking to her saying, I thought you'd be happy. This helps you. It helps me. And she's get out of town. This is about Peter's campaign. She asks Kalinda, hey, can we get DNA from the fertility clinic? And then there's this conversation between Alicia and Eli that I was like, oh, go Eli, stand up for yourself here. Because Alicia's so used to telling Eli no and him following through on it. And here Eli returns her no with a no. I am going forward with this. This is, don't get in the way of like my business plan. This is a business decision. This is good for both of us. So you're just going to have to live with it, Alicia.
Yeah, because we've really seen
Yeah.
their relationship so far has been Eli acquiescing to Alicia on a lot of things. Alicia has demands basically, and he is trying to keep the peace, keep everyone happy, so he will go along with this. But now he's just, listen, you're with my business, okay? So this isn't about you right now. This is about me and what I think is good for me. I think this firm is good for me. I think you, Alicia, are good for me. So yes, I am going to force you into, you know, working for me, which he insists, like, no, you're not gonna work for me. You're gonna be working alongside each other. And he's bullshit. I would be, you would be my boss. And so he's just kind of, no, he's putting his foot down. He's like, I know I usually acquiesce to
And I
you. I
love
usually
that
do what
this
you
is the
want, but
space he
in
came
this
from, and he
instance,
didn't pull
I
like
can't
an
do that
IOU.
because this
He
is
didn't
about me
say,
now.
hey, I did all this stuff for you. Remember that one time where I chased down a teenager and yelled at her in front of her friends? Remember that one time? No, he was like, this is for me. And also, don't you want good things for me? I want good things for you. So like that like friend undercurrent was also there. This isn't personal. This is just business. Kalinda goes to the state's attorney's office and visits Carrie. Again, this was like Google search DNA file to Carrie. Like we have no idea what really transpired in these steps, but here's Kalinda in front of Carrie saying, hey, we found the DNA. It's from Angela Gothard. Here's this file. I think you should read it. It turns out that she bribed Judge Ellerby and Ellerby recused himself. So therefore she lost in this development suit and lost $33 million. And he's put, the jury's deliberating. And she's, I know, but you should read it. It's the right thing to do, which is like kryptonite for Carrie, right? Like anything, like it's the right thing to do. Go for the truth. Any of this stuff is going to get Carrie to do it. But we also have the side conversation of Carrie going, why aren't you calling me? Why aren't you answering my calls? Are you freezing me out? Did you talk to Alicia? Are you being mean to me? So I think Carrie thinks, do you think Carrie thinks that there was something happening or they were at a different point or something was going on? Or is he just trying to reestablish like a friendship with her? They
Well,
kissed.
he was making inroads with Kalinda. They were doing their flirty thing. They were getting to a higher plane. But then this whole Alicia stuff happened. And we talked about Kalinda telling Will last episode, I don't need nobody. Like, I tried to put my faith in people. I
Yeah.
tried to give people my friendship, my emotions, and it backfired on me. So I think that's part of what is going on with Kalinda. She's distancing herself from everyone. She's like, I don't need nobody. I don't need any friends. I don't need any emotions getting in the way because I'll just mess it up. So I think that's part of what this is. She's having a dalliance with Sophia, but that's just sex to her. Like there's nothing emotional there, but she has emotions for Carrie. Carrie and her were at the very least friends and possibly working to something else. But the fact that this whole thing with Alicia popped up, she thinks now that she probably thinks she can't be loved. She shouldn't be loved. She's maybe feeling guilty. So she's pushing Carrie away. And Carrie's like, what is this? He like calls her out. He's like, oh, so did you talk to Alicia? Is that why you're being so weird? Like so I'm being punished because you slept with Peter, basically, because you talked to Alicia. I think Carrie is figuring this out in a way. You're acting odd. So I think that's where Kalinda is coming from. Like, I'm not going to give anyone else my emotions. I'm going to go back to robot Kalinda, where we first met Kalinda. She was just like, robot, no emotions. I am just investigator Kalinda. I will
and I think,
satiate my sexual desires from
more
time to time.
after
But
what
now
happened with
I have
Sophia.
no shit.
She was trying to see if she could at least have sex. Because she's okay, maybe I can't have friends, but can I have sex? Oh no, because I just choose people who are already married all of the time. That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. This damned newfound conscience is getting in the way.
Yes.
And like, I think if Kalinda did
Carrie
not
would
have
have done
feelings for Carrie, she could have even just like effed Carrie because Carrie is not involved. That wouldn't have gotten in the way of her new conscience, but she feels too much for Carrie to go there because there would be emotions there. Yeah, it's very interesting how she's like,
in the courtroom. The judge declares new evidence.
What the heck? I thought we were going somewhere.
Presented to the court that proves that this is enough for a mistrial. So she says there's mistrial, and I urge the new SA to not re-prosecute. Like, she's definitely putting her stamp on this. And then everyone's celebrating. Will steps over to Alicia. They're watching the family like celebrate and was like, that's nice. And Alicia touches Will. There was a touch. There was an arm touch. And as the family's walking out of the courthouse, we do see that Peter has the blue receipt. It was Peter who sent the glove. So this is what I think happened. I think Peter was mad at Will after his conversation, in an elevator or near an elevator in the house with Alicia. As he was going down, he was saying, like, this is all about Will, blah, blah, blah. So after that, he went to Carrie and he said, hey, I want to get back at Will. And Carrie was like, oh, we could send this glove to Will. It also will help Childs because it will help him win this case. And so I think Carrie gave the will to Peter, and Peter sent the glove to Will. This is because Carrie couldn't be involved in it. Like, Carrie can't.
It wouldn't.
No, because it was supposed to get to Will.
It's not going to help
so
Childs,
that
though.
if it was in
front of
Will, they could say, this is weird. Why did it come? It didn't play out the way that they wanted it to play out. They think that they had it solid, but it didn't play out the way it was supposed to play out. I think.
Nah.
What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think
obviously, but you don't think he wanted to hurt
Peter
Will at the same time.
Is effing over Childs. I think that's a big part of this. No. Peter wants to hurt Childs because he hates Childs and he knows that Childs is I think the fact that the whole conceit of this is that Childs is holding back this knows that the evidence will not point to Jake. The evidence will point to someone, but Childs wants an easy win, so he's holding back this evidence, right? So that's the whole conceit of this. That Childs does not want this evidence to get out. Peter, through whatever, finds out about this or whatever and says, all right, I want Childs to look like a fool and lose this trial. So he does give it to Will. I think that is interesting part of it. He delivers it to Will. Maybe he told Carrie to send it to Lockhart Gardner and Carrie put it in care of Will. I don't know. But I don't think Honestly, Carrie could be telling the truth here. Carrie
I
cannot even
just
be the sent this
Peter was
in.
in the
Peter himself might go
Carrie
to the
was in
post
the
office
wings.
because he has the
Carrie
receipt
and Peter are
and
in
is like
cahoots, and
sent
they
this
have a
himself.
common enemy in Will. And I think that this was a two birds one
I know.
stone type of situation where he could hurt Childs and also hurt Will, but at the same time, based on when it was supposed to arrive at Will's desk, it could help Childs by, or no, it would have hurt Child. Yeah, it was a two birds one stone type of thing. That's, I think there's a Will component to it because when Peter was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
Alicia's desk," like he knew
yeah.
where it was supposed to go. He knew what the plan was supposed to be. I think at that moment.
Yeah, I think it's more about Childs and the way that Peter was
He wants a family.
wistfully looking at Jake and his
Blah.
family. It also, I don't know if they wanted us to think, is Peter doing this out of the
No,
goodness of his heart for this guy? Like, and
no
that leads me to
stars.
ask you,
No
like, is there
stars.
any?
No
I feel like
stars.
it's a no. Like, there's no star consideration for Peter here. Okay, okay.
Not
Because the way
after
that he was,
no,
the way that
not
he was
after
looking,
the
the way
way
that he
he
was like
talked
looking
to
down at the
Alicia the
receipt was
last
like,
time.
yeah, I saved that
He's
guy
gonna
and
be
his
in the
family.
doghouse
Oh,
for
but I do
at
think
least a couple more episodes before he can be under star consideration.
okay. But I do think the biggest consideration here was to screw over Childs because also like Diane talks to Carrie earlier and is like, hey,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is the thing, right? Like a new SA comes in and they want to get rid of the old skeletons so they don't come back to hurt them later. So that's part of what this was for Peter. Let me get this out of here so it won't come back to bite me. Childs will look like a fool, will look like an idiot, will lose his case. And so I think that was the main consideration for Peter here. I really don't think the will component had a lot to
No,
do with it.
because
I
the
think
when
possibly it was just
Courtney
sent to
said, "I
Lockhart
have this
Gardner
for
because
Will."
they're taking care of the case, and maybe it was put on Will's desk.
I don't know. I would not put it past Peter.
Right,
I
because
would
Will is the
not put it
lead
past Peter
lawyer in the
to take
case. Like
advantage of the
if
situation
Diane, if
to hurt Will and to
yeah,
also,
I don't know,
I don't know. I don't know.
but it's not hurting Will. It's helping Will. It's only helping Will. Yeah, it
If
will. It
they
only
know
helps
where
Will.
it's supposed,
So
yeah.
I think maybe they just was like, all right, we're going to send this to Lockhart Gardner, and then it ended up it was supposed to go to Will because Will is the lead. Will is the lead
But
lawyer.
the
I
whole
think
thing,
if
they could
Diane was the
frame
lead
that Will was
lawyer and they're
holding
like, we
this
got to get
evidence
this
as
to
well.
Will, then I would
That is,
say
if
that makes sense. But I don't think
that is true.
they
But I
have
just
proof
think,
that it
like,
was
in
sent
the
through the post
planning room,
office
this was
like
their thought.
at
I
a
didn't
given
say
time.
like
They wouldn't,
it played out that
you know,
way,
it,
but
yeah,
I wouldn't put it past Peter doing something mean to Will. Is where I'm
yeah,
going.
yeah. I just
But what does that
of
have
course,
to
but
do? Like
I
right
do think
now,
it was more
he
about
hasn't talked about Childs
Childs
in
than it
like,
was Will. I
he
think,
went to Childs
yeah,
and basically was like, "Hey, it's over. Like I won. It's over." And they haven't really talked to each other or had any threat. What is the advantage of
yeah,
hurting
but
Childs now?
okay, maybe he Childs per se. It's about getting rid of
Okay.
Childs' dirty laundry because this gets this out of Peter's hands so that it doesn't hurt him later, and it also has the added benefit of making Childs look bad. I think that's mainly what this
Yeah.
is about. Let me get this out of here. I think there's a lot going on in this thing. I do think there is some consideration of Peter being like,
Mm.
I don't want this, because we have seen Peter have a heart in some instances, and he is, I know that this guy Jake is innocent, let me do the right thing, get him acquitted because I
Yeah,
have a heart
yeah.
somewhere inside of me. I do think the way that he looked while watching Jake and his family go down the hall gives some credence to the fact that, hey, I want to do the right thing. So that's partly why I did this. I think there's a lot of considerations going in this. It's like in this instance, but I don't think
Peter always wants to
I don't
hurt
think
Will.
he wanted to hurt Will. I think this is mainly about Childs, mainly about getting this off his desk. I know, but there was really no way this is going to hurt Will. I think he probably begrudgingly sent this to Lockhart Gardner. Was like, this is going to help Will. I know,
Josh
but
Charles,
I
give
feel
me a
like
call.
he
Let me
did it
know. Were you
begrudgingly
hurt by
to get
this?
this out of his
What's
hair.
going on?
And
Because
to
I would not ask Chris Noth if the world was ending, which it currently is, but I would not
yeah,
ask
I
him.
don't know.
I would want to hear.
You
We
can
might have to do that
spend
at some
you can
point.
spend $200 on a
But
cameo and
anyway,
ask him
yeah.
that
So the
question.
glove It's just like in OJ. We don't really know where the glove came from or what it was about. But after they celebrate at the court, Will and
Yeah.
Alicia go to get some tequila. Tequila.
This came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay, we're just chilling. She can't hang out with
And there's a
Kalinda
woman
anymore at the bar, so I
bartender,
guess
and Alicia
Will
says
is her
to
new
Will,
bar buddy. I was
"You
like,
and
this
the
is
women."
kind of sudden. Okay, cool.
And Will reflects here and he's like, "Women love me until they get to know the real me." And he's serious in this moment until he answers Alicia's question of who is the real you. And he says, "Uncontrollable bladder syndrome." And Alicia gives like the most like fifth grade, like she was such a fifther. She was like, ah, like such like a girl having a crush, trying too much here with this laugh.
It was,
Yes.
yeah, it was very Janice from Friends. I was like,
I love you so much.
ew, that's your laugh? But Will, of course, is, oh my God.
We find
I
out
love
also
your
that
laugh.
Tammy is
It's
in
like,
London.
oh,
She had
you
called
love that
earlier
laugh?
in the
You do really
day,
love this
which
woman
is
then.
where when you had talked about him receiving this other call and he would be there in 20 minutes. Apparently, Tammy expected Will to come over and beg her to stay, and then he didn't do that.
This
Yeah.
was so weird. It really just again felt rushed. It felt out of nowhere because how many episodes ago was this? Like 3 episodes ago, where Tammy was like, "Should I go to London or should I not go to London?" And Will's like, "Don't go to London." And then all of a
Hi,
sudden now she
Tammy.
just went to London. I was like, "Oh, okay." We're the guess. Now it felt like, yeah, it felt like there's a sudden change in the writing. Like I would like Kings. I know you're listening. Get at us. Was this like a sudden change in direction of, you know what? Stuff. We'll just get rid of her. We'll just write
I
her
were
out
writing
really
the show
fast
in my
and say
head,
she
which
just
I
won
do
it.
quite often.
Okay.
Once Will learns about what's going on with Alicia, I'm sure his behavior changed a little bit. And Tammy was like, "I could still go to London." And so she was like, "I'm going to go." And she packed and she would probably threaten a couple of times. And then she would go, "All right, my bags are packed. If you don't show up in the next 10 minutes or whatever, I'm going to get on that plane to London." And he's, "Give me 20 and I'll be there." And then he never went. And so she got on the plane. Yeah, but it makes sense. It did.
I get,
Yeah.
but that is you writing the show.
Agreed.
It felt rushed and sloppy to me.
Yes.
Yeah, rushed and sloppy.
Because
it was just like they just need to
Will's
get
like,
Tammy
"We
out of the
always have
way
bad timing."
super fast. I was
And
like,
then
oh, okay.
he asked
Yeah.
this question like, "But what if we had like good timing for an hour?" Like an hour. And Alicia's answer was like, "That would be an exceptional moment."
First of all, what do you mean an hour? Am I like,
Yeah, I
don't
know,
think
that was
the right
wrong.
way to come about that.
That was wrong.
What am I, like a sex worker to you? You're gonna rent me for an hour? That was weird. First of all, and like you
And
said,
also,
like,
if you're being asked, like
exceptional
basically he's
moment,
saying
like,
to her, like, "Hey,
who
do you
was
want to
like
have
that?
sex?" Like,
What are
I
you talking
would.
about?
Who responds to that would be an exceptional moment to that question.
Yeah, what is going on here? Y'all have
Yeah.
this like uncalculable,
So weird.
uncalculable energy,
So
energy and
weird.
chemistry on most scenes, and this
It
felt
did.
weird. I was like, what? The writing got in the way of the chemistry of the moment. I was like, this is just weird, like weird. Maybe it was
Probably.
meant to be weird and awkward because this is the first time they're really like confronting this moment. This is the first
But,
time they're kind of
like,
talking
she could have
candidly about
said,
like, are
"I've
we
thought about
actually
that a
going to do
lot."
this? So maybe it
Or
was
she didn't have
weird
to
and
say
awkward.
what it would actually look like. She could have just said, "I thought about that last night." But
Yeah.
anywho, then they like
I thought about that last
Chicago
night while
Magazine.
I was looking at your 16th most eligible bachelor. Um,
Yeah.
I had that in one hand,
But
doing something else in the
then
other about that when I was
Pinky
doing
link.
that. So,
These two, they're really big on so they link the pinkies. Then they go stop at the desk. The desk attendant is like on the phone, all of this stuff. And Will's
Yeah.
like, "Listen, do you have a room? Like any room? Do you have a room?" And she's, "No, we don't have any rooms. There's a big convention. It's no rooms." And she's, "We do have the presidential suite, but it's $7,800. And they look at each other and they're like, "Let's do this. Let's do this."
Yeah, he puts down the black card of put it on the black card, baby. And it's
This
like,
is
okay, like
happening.
while this happened, like,
They get
oh
the
wow, like this
keys.
is
They go stand in front of the elevator
happening.
because they
This
got to go all the
thing's
way up to the top because it's the
gotta go
presidential
down.
suite.
Yeah.
So they go. The first elevator is full. They can't get in. The second elevator had a kid in it that had pressed every single button known to man. And this is when, again, I really do want to do a study of how many times they were in elevators and conversations that happen in elevators, because I know you asked me, like, do you remember when they get together? And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember. Because I remember this elevator. I don't remember all the weirdness before it, but I remember this elevator scene. Because all of the buttons have been pushed, they're standing there. Doors are opening. Doors are closing. Alicia's Will, maybe, and I think she's gonna say maybe this isn't the right time. There's so many things going, and Will's like, "Don't even say that. Let's make out in the elevator before you can say anything else." This was worth
And
it.
as messy and sloppy the moments were before this, these moments were really well done. I loved it. I love the opening and closing of the doors where you see Alicia is like reconsidering, Will being like, oh crap, is she reconsidering? Like you see, again, the face acting by Josh Charles episode was fantastic. Like, you just see, and like you said, she's like, Will, ding, maybe, ding, doors close. And then Will's like, F it. And just takes her in his arms and just makes out with her. I was like, yeah, like we were waiting 2 seasons for this moment.
And at the same,
and it was worth it.
Oh, like, pushed up against the wall.
This is not good. We got mouths open. You got mouths open, tongues going. Oh, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Say goodbye to the world you thought you lived in by Mika. Come on,
so good.
Apt song, yeah. In 2025.
Yeah, it's like they were talking to us. Like, say goodbye to this world of the Will and.
But also, like,
say goodbye to the Will.
Also
Alicia,
to them, right? Like, they're talking to the characters. The world you thought you lived in, the world you thought where you couldn't be together, the world you thought where this couldn't happen. All you needed was an elevator. That's it. That's all you needed. Aerosmith wrote a whole song about it. But they get off the elevator, and Will's like doing his best, man. He's trying to be so smooth. And this is okay. In the evolution of hotel keys, we are in the paper card key time period. It's not a plastic card, it's a paper card. So he's in and out, doesn't work. In and out, doesn't work.
He is, and if you have a dirty mind like mine, right? And he is just like jamming this thing in. He is jackrabbiting this key card into the slot. He's come on, let's go. Like he is fumbling it. He is ramming it in.
At one point, he's even resigned. He's
keyhole slides. No, come on.
It's
and
okay.
Alicia just grabs this. Yeah. And Alicia just, I got it, baby. Let me show you how you're supposed to do this. You're not supposed to just jam it in there. You're not supposed to jackrabbit the thing lot.
Flip it over. Make sure it's facing the right direction. Make sure it's all good. And then slide it in there. Yeah.
Flip me the card over. Flip it over. Slide it in real slow and nice. Will
then what I found
doing this?
Things will open up.
Nice. Leave it in there for a minute.
And what I loved about that is
and things will open up.
Did put, first of all, it's network TV, right? We weren't going to see much of anything in this situation, but it tells us that Alicia was taking control. She was the first one to step in the door, and you could see Will's entrance into the room was just like a teenage. I can't believe this is happening. Here I go. Like, this is happening. And so I just could only imagine what the writer's room was like during writing that scene of like, how can we tell the audience what happened without telling them or without showing them what happened? Oh, it's CBS, Jason.
Listen, we don't know what the start of next episode is going to be. Who knows what we're going to see?
Sure, but like there's never any action.
But I mean, listen, we saw
like
full back
just the start
on
or like
Sophia earlier. Who knows?
So this was our.
But
yeah, that's true.
But I think the Kings are good. The Kings are good at intimating action. I'll say that. But I freaking died laughing at this moment where it was just like, come on, get it in there. Open up. He's like ramming the key in there. No, let me show you how it's done. This is She can handle the key, baby. She been waiting for the key to open her door, okay? And she's gonna show him how to work the key. Will, pay attention. This is a precursor
Like,
into what's about to happen here.
Nice,
You gotta treat it nice. You're gonna treat the keyhole slot nice. Put it in, leave it in there for a second, and things will happen. The door's gonna open for you. So just take note. I freaking.
They were
died.
telling
And
us
that was probably
exactly
because my
what
mind
this
was
was
super
not like.
dirty
This was
and,
not a
not in the
very
right
hidden
place.
innuendo. This was very direct in the if something
Yeah.
was going in and out multiple times. Like I think we got
Yeah,
exactly
true. Very
we
true.
got the message loud and clear. All right, the last episode of season 2.
That was
We
so
got
fun.
to
Loved
the
it.
Will and Alicia moment. We're going into episode 3. How long do we think this is going to last? What do we think is going to happen? I honestly can't remember, so I don't know. Would you say it's an exceptional moment?
This is a momentous occasion, right? This is what we've been waiting for. It's an exceptional moment. I'm sure they had
Maybe.
at least one
For
exceptional
$7,800.
moments, probably
Yeah.
maybe many exceptional moments that night. Hopefully for Will and Alicia's sake. You better be having a lot of exceptional moments. Yeah, this is the start of a relationship. Or we'll come back in season 3 and say this is a one-time thing. We were on a high of winning this big case. We were drinking. Maybe we shouldn't do it again. Maybe we should. Maybe they'll keep doing it in secret, just so between us type of thing. I don't know. A lot of things.
Yeah, I hope they like
and we'll
high
see
school
when
it,
we come
sneak
back
around a
for
little
next
bit.
season.
I hope that's the direction they go because I think that's the direction they would go. But
Mhm.
honestly, like there are only big milestones in the good way that I remember, and it was like elevator. I can't remember what happens next. So we shall see. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, for
Will they take a
Even
take
though we
a
didn't
while
have, we
to,
didn't know, we didn't DTR
DTR
back then, but
to
yes,
find the
we DTR'd, but we didn't have
and
the
you know
DTR
because
term for DTRing.
yeah. Listen, we know they're DTF. We just don't know if they're ready to DTR. And so
Right.
I think they've waited this long for this moment. I don't think they're going to rush into anything
That was great.
serious. I think
was
they probably
exceptional.
this feels good. Let's keep doing this. Like my home life is very complicated. I don't want to keep complicating stuff. So let's just have fun. We'll want to catch feelings, and Alicia's, I don't got time for feelings. I'm doing a lot of other garbage.
I have a feeling there will be lots.
You're just going to be
pinky
my boy toy
touches
for a while.
across
There's so many.
the conference room table or something for a while. But yeah, luckily we don't have to wait the 3 months we had to wait.
A lot of looks.
The first
A
time
lot of
this
looks
is around. We can
across.
just find out in the next episode. So I am excited that we are getting to season 3.
Exactly. Yes, can't wait to see the results of this and how that is going to play out. Yes. So
Same.
fun time,
Yeah.
fun time. I had a great time talking about this episode in particular, Marissa, with you. It was a great one to talk about. Marissa, you have a good pod people in
good
on
potters.
where they can find
Sure.
you, what you're up to.
Hey, good
all that
potters.
stuff.
You can find me at itsmemarissag.com. There you can get on my mailing list. You can have links to all my other socials, which I'm not very active on. Although I might be kicking it up soon. I have put together like a little, if you want to start a podcast, this is like a little nudge of an offer that will be dropping sometime soon. So if you want to get on my mailing list, you can hear about that soon. And I'm sure I'll talk about it on Instagram. It just takes longer because it's graphics and whatever. Effort, work for social. What? Anyway, that's what's going on with me. Jason, what's going on with you?
If you want to keep up with me on social media, although I'm not a huge social mediaer, you can keep up with me at Blue Sky at JR33D. As far as podcasting is concerned, me and Saucer Joseph just finished up the first season of Daredevil Born Again over on the We Know Scripted TV feed of Rob Has Podcast. Had a lot of fun with this season. Ended much better than it started. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, you can go over there and check that out. We had a great time there. You can also check me out on the Perfect Match Patreon podcast where me and Asia still talk about Married at First Sight. We're just going back into the past since there's no current season on right now. We are starting all the way at the beginning, season 1, talking about the first season of the show Married at First Sight. You can join our Patreon and check out those episodes if that interests you as well. Until next time, good Potters, stay good.